finally got a day where we can show stuff off. I'll start with the stuff I bought from Gameco. There's the artisan supplies here in Australia. I buy a lot from them. Got a nice zebra bone, beautiful, like a teal, aqua, black. It's a zebra bone. It doesn't need much explanation. Be a nice solid piece. It's got a knot here, so you either slot something down, have it a big long handle, or I was thinking of cutting him in the middle. The way you got two handles, use the joint as the end cap, and then just a nice bolster or something on them. But pretty simple, just aqua, black, bone, beautiful. It's a pretty expensive him, but it's zebra bone. Same as this, giraffe bone. This was crazy expensive, but it's got a nice kind of blue dye to it. Nothing too fancy. There was a nice orange one there, but yeah, this just had more detail. As you can see in with it, it's kind of penetrated a lot better. There was a couple of spots where the dye didn't hit, but well, it gives it a more natural look. I mean, it's bone, it's as natural as it comes. But that is surprisingly dense and heavy. That will be used for something special. It's got a random horn, just because random horn. I think it was maybe Impala or Gessenbach. I'll have to check that one up. But yeah, just a tiny little fucking thing. Probably use that as a handle all by itself. Just a little rat tail down the guts of him. Now, this Brazilian bloodwood, just rough hewn. So this, I can't really show you like the depth, the chatoyance, and yes, that is a word. Just listen to this guy. But yeah, Brazilian bloodwood, beautiful. When this gets sanded and cleaned up, it will have a very nice colour. Reds and orange, hence bloodwood. This, Cooktown ironwood. This is heavy. Because ironwood is amongst the heaviest wood there is, and well, it makes some amazing handles. You can probably see the nice coloration there, hopefully. And he's solid. There's a big hefty piece there, so yeah. I dread trying to turn this into scales or something, because my bandsaw is not going to get through this. So that's going to be a solid single piece. That push them over. Cheers. Alright, moving on to the next mob. This is yandiwa, and I'll put all the links to the places down in the description with times and all that kind of crap. This is some beautiful, beautiful wood. I was trying to find some zebrano, because it's zebrano, but I just couldn't get any. And this, the sheer shimmer of this grain, I hope it can show it up there. It is beautiful, and this feels like freaking glass, so I know if I treat this well and give it a nice finish, it will be just as gorgeous. But yeah, yandiwa. I only got one from them because they had some nice blades. That's for sure. They had some beautiful blades and some amazing leather work as well. That I was more interested in the wood at that point. This is from Outback Timbers. Just a piece of nondescript burl, dyed, stabilised. I've already figured out a project for this, so he's already on the chopping block. Same as a couple others, they've already been chosen. He's got like a kind of a aqua teal colour, a darker blue and a purple. Kind of blends a bit more on this side, but it's quite a nice piece. There's a lot of movement in this burl, which is great too. Because I did get a couple of pieces of burl. Some of them were, there was a mob selling them as offcuts. We'll get to that later though. This, Blackwood, this has some beautiful chatoyance, and it is amazing. There is a lot of depth there, and this will make a beautiful handle. I'll have to do this for like a hunting knife or something, as it just, I don't think it'd look right on a kitchen knife. But yeah, there you go, there's that end. You can see the difference between rough hewn and what a nice fucking smooth finish does, hence why the ironwood and the bloodwood doesn't look all that fancy. I should have prepped them before this, but well, I've been screwing around with other things. But some beautiful, and he's quite dense as well. Alright, now we get on to Nordic Edge. And this is a new mob I just found, but well, after the show I immediately went and bought $400, $500 worth of kydex from them, and they have some really nice stuff. I will be buying from them again, that's for sure. But I managed to pick up these. They were off-cut, dyed burl blocks, and they were just, I think they were $40 a piece, or 3 for $100. So I grabbed 3 of them. But I got me nice yellow one. There's a lot of movement. Some bright spots at the end here. Kind of knots up real dark and deep here. But it's nice. Very simple. Just as I got a lot of purple, so I had to kind of offset that a bit. We got a blue. It's blue here, purple at the end. This looks quite nice with a white. It has a lot of movement, especially down here. This will come up as quite a nice piece. It does have a bit of chatoyance in it, but since it's still kind of rough, I mean it's slight smooth, but it's been taken like to maybe a 60 grit. But this will show up a nice shine, kind of like that Blackwood there. But, yeah, it's quite a nice piece, that. Because honestly, I just couldn't believe that they were just selling them as offcuts, just random pieces. As this was the last piece, nice red piece here. It's got some bright reds, and then just a bit of blue in it. I like this one a lot because it's got the tight burl, and then it's just real smooth. But this will have a nice chatoyance as well. So you can already see the shimmer starting. It's just, they need to be taken to a finer grit, given a nice oil. But yeah, this will be a nice piece, especially with that delineation between it. It's not so much on this side, but this side you got a nice, strong piece. This, stabilized curly birch. They called it Purple Dream. It is, well, if you see my other video, you see me complaining about the purple being a bit too dark, and this is the piece I chose. It's a lot lighter. It shows up this gold, beautiful gold fucking striations. It's basically where the grain meets, essentially. But you got this beautiful purple, all that beautiful chatoyance in it, and then just those gold lines. As I wanted them to pop as much as possible. You probably see it there better. But yeah, it is a striking piece, this, and extremely heavy because of the stabilization. There's one thing, wood gets deceptively heavy and dense under stabilization, but that is a beautiful piece. This I had never seen before. I mean, I've seen acrylics before, but what it is vulcanized paper like the waves in it are vulcanized paper, and then it's just cast in resin, and this thing looks hella cool. Like, I've never seen anything like this used for like a handle material, and well, I'd seen it and I just had to have it. But this, because of what it is, I'll have to do a nice like rat tail tang, pop a hole through him and have as much of that handle as possible showing, because just how cool is that? And this is why I'll be going back to Nordic Edge, because of weird things like this and weird things like this. If you've seen the video I done previously, you'd see me asking the fella why it looks like a bar of nougat. They call it glowstone firefly scales, and it's because all this stuff inside it, all of that weird like frit will glow in the dark plastics, and I mean, it's awesome. Just like, look at this, it's just so cool. This, we already got a project for this. Nice little hunting knife, so yeah. Because I want to do like a little camping hunter knife for that. Gets a nice use around a campfire, so you got a nice little glowing blade on your hip. I think it'll look cool. Right, this next mob, Reclaim Creative. I've never heard of them, just like Nordic Edge, but I will be buying from them for a long time. I started off with these. It was like their offcuts, essentially. As basically they just sold them in scales. It's things that have been, as you can see, marked up a little bit. It's got a little pen ink. It's been sliced just on the side here. It's basically the offcuts from when they make their actual blocks. It's not big enough to make a block out of, so slice him, make him some handles. But this, as you can see, it's got some beautiful chatoyance. This piece itself is California redwood. It's quite light because it's just raw wood, but I've already figured out something for this. You will see that. Probably you'll see this first on a handle, or as a handle, than any of the others. But just that chatoyance, just that shimmer on that. And this is, you can hear how rough that is. So once this gets shined up, it will be gorgeous piece. Now, this was great. The offcut stuff, $35 a piece, and that's some damn cheap scales, especially for the quality for what I got. With the offcuts, there was also this, and there's another one, but we got Jarrah here, black palm spacer, and then a maple bolster. So I can do a nice little like Japanese style knife with them. Because these are only small, and it's just like marred up. It's all the offcuts. Instead of throwing out your wood, like all your extra bits, turn them into something. And I'm glad they did, because I really should have got more of these. I went back and I bought some more blocks a second time, but I should have got more of the handle scale stuff, because I'd rather do full tang. I think a full tang knife just is better. But yeah, I've seen that Jarrah and that black palm, and I just couldn't go past that beautiful difference there. It's just too cool to pass up. We got this one here. It's Brazil wood, ebony, maple again. Basically the same thing, just another off-cut piece, but got some nice kind of reddish browns and that dark ebony wood. Makes a very striking piece between it, especially some light, dark, and then yeah, that colour. Pretty simple, but it should make a nice kitchen knife, that. Or it will make a nice kitchen knife. I'll make damn sure it does. This. this. It's when they say chatoyance, this is what they're talking about. I mean, this thing is gorgeous, and the sheer depth in this is insane. I can't exactly remember what this is, but oh my god, it is amazing. There's a small knot here. Oh, there we go. It's maple. It says it on the end because I'm an idiot and I can't read. It is dyed, stabilised, of course. It's had a couple of treatments. We got blue and green, so it's got a kind of gradient through it. Real nice. It's quite a heavy piece, but yeah, as I said, this knot, once we shape that down, that'll be gone. Not a problem. But it is a beautiful piece. That shimmer, just when I seen it, I just immediately just grabbed him. There was plenty more there. I could have got a lot more, but, well, my wallet wouldn't allow me. This right here. This, some people might know because it's used on guitars all the time. This is Purple Heart. I've been after some Purple Heart for a long while. It was one of the first knives I made. I wanted to do a Purple Heart handle, but seen the price of getting it from, well, other countries, and it was just too expensive for me. But still, he's got a bit of a rough, so you will get a bit of chatoyance, a bit of shimmer out of him, but nowhere near as much as like the maple and that. But it's still a beautiful piece. And when this thing, like, this isn't dyed, this is natural. When this thing gets treated, like once it gets shaped, and I'll take this to probably 1,000 grit. Not on a belt, of course, it'll be done by hand, but once this gets taken to a high point, this will be a gorgeous piece. It won't need the shimmer like the maple, just because of that grain and that coloration by itself is going to be enough of a talking point that it will get noticed. It's a very, very good brine. That was $40, so it was impossible to ignore. This, I've got another ironwood, similar to our Cooktown. This is Arizona ironwood, and it's been stabilized, so this is a weighty piece. I tried to get a nice piece with a long yellow piece in it, but unfortunately this was the most I could get. I wanted that gradient coming across like the top of a knife, so I'd be using it as a handle and you'd have a nice... I like when colours oppose each other, hence why I like those scales so much. It was differing colours and gradients. I think it's beautiful when that happens in knives, but other than that, this is quite a striking piece. It does have a bit of shimmer. You can probably maybe see it on there. Not too much. It's to do with how you cut the wood has a lot to showing it up or not. If it's cut with the grain, I believe. I'll put the fucking explanation in. So, but yeah. It is a beautiful piece though, nonetheless. I'll have fun making something out of them. I'll probably have to hit it with a grinder just to shape it, but it will be interesting to use that. Now this was cool. This is Indian oak, and I've seen pieces like this. I never knew what it was, so I couldn't really research it and go hunting for some, but this is, it's that colour gradient. This is that bright yellow. Of course it's dyed and stabilised. It's that colour difference between that bright yellow and that dark black, and just, I mean, that alone, just beautiful. Yeah, $50. it's a bit expensive. Some people might think it's expensive, but I've seen a lot more expensive handles than this. That's for sure. But not many is nowhere near as gorgeous. Or, in my opinion, I think it's gorgeous. Same as this piece. This is, I think they called it Galactica or something like that. It's blues, greens, purples, reds. It's had about 5 different treatments. This is tamarind wood, and again, dyed, stabilised. I mean, just look at that colour. It is a gorgeous piece, and I will enjoy making something out of this, and I will endeavour to keep every scrap of wood that comes off this, even if it means collecting the sawdust. I will recast it. I will resin cast all of the little chips that I cut off on my my bandsaw. I will resin cast this into a handle again, purely because of the pieces. But yeah, he's got a bit of shimmer, especially in this blue. It shows up real nice. But other than that, there's not much. It's more the colours over the entire piece that's the important thing there. Again, I spent too much time buying purple stuff, hence purple. These are just offcuts of just knot wood. I've seen this done quite a lot, and I've always wanted to try, but I mean, I've tried with resin before, not the greatest, but you might be able to see that pearlescent swirls in it. It's quite a nice piece. You can probably see it down here most of all, but it is quite a gorgeous piece, this. Because by the end of the day, I had, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 pieces that were purple. So that's why I had to get that the Indian oak. I had to get these, that yellow. I wanted some different colours. I needed some. I mean, I love purple, but not everyone does. Our last piece from them is this. Again, it's similar to that last purple. It's just off-cut pieces, but instead of it being a pearlescent, like translucent resin, this is fully opaque. And I seen it, and my first thought was Street's Paddle Pop, like the not the Neapolitan, you know, the Street's Paddle Pop ice cream I'm talking about. It's just yellow and pink, and well, it makes a very, very bold piece. I mean, I'm no artist or anything, fucking far from it, but well, it's nice. I mean, you might not be able to see all the colours on this. I'll take a photo just so you can see it a bit better, but it is a gorgeous piece, and well worth the $50 odd I paid for it. So it's a nice piece. So I will endeavour to make a really gorgeous handle out of this. Again, that nice difference between the colours. And that's it for our handles. All up, there's probably about $2,000 odd here. I mean, the bones were crazy expensive. That zebra bone was $170 by itself. Same as the giraffe, they were $120 odd. I did pay quite a lot for some things. They were kind of worth it. I mean, the curly birch, that was $60 odd by itself. But I will get a lot of enjoyment out of working these, and I will make some gorgeous handles, that's for sure. That's it for this one. Next up is the blades.
Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.